All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming. I'm not sure what happened in the last video because now this appears to be working, so I'm going to show it to you anyway. And it was retaining the value, so I just removed everything and reset it. So let's see if we can get it to work now. So hourly, saying that it's hourly, showing it, it's all set. Hours worked, hourly rate. We go back again and change it to piece worker. Pieces made in price per piece if we do it again. And we choose commission worker. Commission percentage and sales amount. And finally, if we do it a last time, remember for salary, we only have the salary, so we only have one field showing here. And there it is. So everything now appears to be working. All right, that's a great start. The next thing I want to do is I want to get all those message boxes that I put in there out of there because they're really not necessary anymore. So this one can be removed. And when we get into here, this one can now be removed. And this one can now be removed. I believe at least that's all of them. Let's run it again and verify that. And if not, we'll change it accordingly. So there's hourly. Boom. There's piece worker. Boom. There is commission worker. Boom. And there is salaried worker. Boom. Now the good news is what I've just shown you is a way to pass data from one form to another. Now, before we go on, and we are going to go on right now, all right, but what I want to do is a couple things. First of all, looking in here, remember we copied over a lot of the stuff that we had here. One thing we don't want is this migrations file. I'm just going to delete that. And I'm going to go to the app.config file here. Now we've already got a catalog, payroll database 02. Remember we said we're going to call this one payroll database, I think we said ASP. Let's double check that. Payroll database ASP right there. All right, so we now have payroll database ASP there, and we have it here as well. So that's in there. So that's a good start. Save all. Now we have to go into the NuGet package manager. We have to make sure we're setting our project to the right project. This is old, so I'm going to clear this out. And we want to set this to PayrollEFCore02. All right, now just like we did before, we want to install. Oh, and what is it again? I think it's install package. We'll find out in a minute. Microsoft.entity framework core minus version 8.0.22. Well, I guess I'm not as dumb as I think I am sometimes. Okay, so we've got Entity Framework Core. We want to do Entity Framework Core dot SQL Server. We want to do it again with tools. And we want to do it a last time with design. We've done this before several times. All right, now let's see if we can build the database. No idea if this is going to work or not work. We still have, from what we did earlier, our data with our context, etc. in here. Now, we may have to check in here, because if there's any place in here where we have, let's just double check. So that was payroll database. So that's not in here, it looks like. That's good. Let's check in here. Well, there it is. So that's payroll database ASP. And I'm hoping that's the only place we have to change anything. We'll find out, because if we try doing this and it fails, all right, we'll know there's a problem. So I'm going to close this data up. We'll leave our forms. We'll close that just so you can see this. And I'm going to try to do an add migration. And we'll call it, as always, initial create. If we get an error, it's because it is referenced someplace else and I forgot to change it. Well, that's good. Now let's try doing an update database. All right, this is all fantastic. So why is that a big thing? Well, after we went in and in our load event, after we configured, close this now, and let's close our startup form as well. Just keep up this employee manager thing in here. All right. All right. What we would like to do in the rest of this video that we're working with right now, because we put all that stuff in. All right. But we want to set it up. Remember, this is an empty database, and that is totally okay because we haven't put anything into it yet. All right, so that's fine. But what we want to do next is we want to load our records. There aren't any yet, but we do want to set it up so that we can load our records. All right, so in our load event, we call configure correct. All right, and then I'm going to call next load corresponding records. Now it's going to give us an error because we haven't written it yet. We're about to write that. All right, so that'll be down here. Private void load corresponding records. All right, so that error that was up here is now gone. It's not doing anything yet, and that's okay. All right. So what we're going to do then in here is we're going to do another switch on employee type like we just did. Oops, not a switch, a switch on employee type. And remember, like we did before, we've got case hourly. And we'll just put a break here. We have case piece worker. And again, we'll put a break here. We have case commission. And again, we'll put a break. We have case salaried. And again, we'll put a break. And finally, we have our default. And hopefully at least the default will never be hit, but we'll just break. Now, right now it's not doing anything, so we have to make it do something. All right. What we want to do here is we want to fill the data grid view control with the records of the corresponding employee type. Okay, so we're going to do basically the same thing every time, but we're just going to change the data source every time. So we're going to say here DGV employee dot data source equals DB context. Now it's not recognizing that, so that says to me that we're going to have to, in our using statements that we have up here, we're going to have a using B or PayrollEFCore02 dot models, and just to be sure, we'll put a using PayrollEFCore02 dot data. And why is it giving us an error? It says, are we missing a reference? We shouldn't be. PayrollEFCore02. What's in there? Let's just look at that. Dot. Okay. Jeez Louise. Now we shouldn't be hit. This is the project we're working in. So why wouldn't it be recognizing that? It's telling us basically it wants us to come in here and add a reference, which doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. Project reference. Okay, I added a reference to our current project. That didn't do diddly. Missing an assembly reference. No. I don't want to do that. Okay. Add project reference. Let me stop right here for a second. Just pause. Didn't want you to have to hear that clock chiming. So I can add a thing to the BMI library, but I don't think that's going to do anything. Why is it not recognizing this? Again, probably something unbelievably simplistic. I'll tell you what, I'm going to figure out what it is, but for now, I'm going to put in the corresponding code. All right, even though it's going to give me errors. So I'm going to say DB context, and that, what was that? It's not DB context, it is payroll DB context. Payroll DB context dot hourly. Well, we have to add so using PayrollLib. Okay. So this should be now dot. It's not recognizing anything here. So that's hourly employees dot auto tracking .toList. All right. Now, why it's giving that error, I'm not sure, but I'm going to figure it out in just a bit. So this one is going to be changed to piecework. Piece. See that what that should be doing is coming in here, and there's from models here. There's hourly employees, there's pieceworker employees, and in a minute we'll do commission and salaried. So that's pieceworker employees. This will be commission employees. And the last one will be salaried employees. Now, we'll get this working in just a couple minutes. I'm going to go and check my own code. But once we do, what should happen then is when we run it, not only will it fill up, and yes, I realize they're blank tables or empty tables right now, but it should show us the corresponding fields. All right? And I'm hoping at least that happens. So, I guess we've come to the end of this, even though it's a little bit earlier than I planned. All right? And I'll come back, hopefully, with this in just a couple minutes. All right? In fact, I think I'll just pause and see if I can figure out what it is. How's that? All right, I've found several errors, and I'm hoping that I've fixed everything. Let me show you. First of all, this was in the payroll program. I had in here I had payroll. I was calling the one from here, payroll DB context. No, I wanted to call the one from the payroll program that we created. So that fixed that. And I had add tracking. It's as no tracking. All right. Now, what should happen now, you've already seen that we have the ability to go in and change, etc. But I'm hoping at least that when we bring up hourly, it's going to show us the fields for hourly. When we bring up salaried, it'll show us the fields for salaried, etc. All right. So let's see if indeed that works. So let's do a file, save all. Run it. We'll just do them in order. So there's hourly. There they are. Hours worked, hourly rate, ID and employee type. Okay. Piece worker, pieces made, price per piece, ID and employee type. Commission worker, commission percentage, we can make that bigger, sales amount, ID and employee type. And finally, salaried. Salary. So all of those are working. All right, now, let's be real here and let's be honest here. One of the things I told you I was going to add, I have not, is the employee's first name and last name. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the database, add both of those. Maybe I'll get this working first and then do a third version. I wasn't going to do that, but one way or the other, you're going to have that because right now it's not showing a lot. It should show the first name and last name as well, and it's not right now. All right. Okay, so we're making progress, and we'll be back, and I'll have to think about how much work that's going to be to add the first name and the last name into all these. Okay, but I'll be back shortly. Thanks a lot.